Okay, we are going to go ahead and get started. Hello, everybody. This is the December HMIS user meeting. In the chat box, please go ahead and enter the name of the agency that you are representing so we know who is in attendance. And let's get going. So here's our agenda today. We have an update on the coordinated entry system as well as the project performance reports, a little update on Clarity migration, some data cleanup that we wanted to let you know about, the HICP, some updates to forms, and some new training videos. And at the end, if we have time, we will allow you to ask us some questions if you have anything burning, and we can show you an HMIS too if there's something specific you need to see. Okay, so first up is the coordinated entry system. And this is specific to the family coordinated entry system since that is what is in HMIS right now. The community queue, which many of you know is a prioritization list, has been updated in HMIS, and all historical matches have been entered into HMIS. So anybody that's still on the community queue at this point does need to be matched to a housing opportunity. There shouldn't be any more clients on the community queue that are already matched to a housing opportunity. Also, any new housing opportunities that become available are being matched through HMIS during the housing placement match meetings, and those are on Tuesdays. So if you have housing opportunities that are for families, please start entering those into HMIS so that the clients can be matched to those opportunities during those meetings. At this point, also, all documents related to the coordinated entry system should be entered directly into HMIS. This includes chronically homeless verifications, disability verifications, homelessness verifications, and anything else that, any other documentation that you may need for coordinated entry should be entered directly into HMIS. Please don't send them to us because we're going to ask you to enter them into HMIS. Also, the prioritization list is no longer available on 2110c.org. You can use the Households on the Community Queue report to view those same clients, and instructions on how to run that report are included in the coordinated entry training that's available on our website. Also, we have a report that is automatically sent out on Mondays at noon that includes all of the currently available housing opportunities. And this report is used at the meetings at the match meetings on Tuesdays to help so the matchers know what housing opportunities are available and so that they can match clients to those opportunities. If you would like to receive that report via email, please enter a ticket to the HMIS help desk and we can add you so you get that email. And then the last thing for the coordinated entry system, we have found that in some cases, a client can be matched to a housing opportunity, and then later the agency determines that the client may not be eligible for that specific project, but there's another project at the agency that the client may be eligible for instead. So in those cases, please let us know if you need a client to be moved to another project in that case, because we can do that for you. So for example, if a client is matched to a HUD rapid rehousing project at your agency through the coordinated entry system, and you find out they're not eligible, but your non-HUD funded rapid rehousing project they could be eligible for, we can link the client, the referral for that client to that new rapid rehousing project for you. So you don't need to deny the match or anything like that. Just enter a ticket with the help desk and we can link the client's referral to that new rapid rehousing project so that, and then you can enroll them in your project. So I'm going to stop for a second, see if there's any questions. I'm not seeing any questions so far, so I'm going to keep going, but if you think of anything, feel free to enter that into the chat, and we're happy to answer those for you. The next thing is in regards to project performance reports. Just so everyone knows, we will be talking about the transitional housing project performance reports at the January Data and Performance Management meeting, and that will be on the 10th at 1:30 here at the Village. So if you have a transitional housing project, please plan to attend that meeting so you can look at your project's data and we can discuss some strategies for how to improve performance as well as thresholds for transitional housing. Also, surprisingly, it's almost been 5 months since we've started doing these project performance reports. So in February, we will be looking at permanent supportive housing project performance again. And so we will start pulling the data in January, and we will send it to the agencies prior to the meeting and let them make corrections and then run the data again and share that at the February meeting. So please look out for that email and plan to make those corrections and also attend that February meeting if you have a permanent supportive housing or other permanent housing project. And these ones might be important, extra important if we end up using them for the NOFA. That hasn't been decided yet, but it's possible. So keep that in mind too, and look at for more information at the beginning of January. Let's see if there's any questions. All right. Really quickly on the Clarity data migration, all services have been entered into Clarity for all projects. So if you find any errors with migrated services, or if you think data should be there for services and it's not, please enter a ticket with HMIS Help Desk, and we can look into that for you. And then also in regards to the coordinated entry individual system, we're currently working on separating all the CES documents for individuals, because I think as I've shared at a previous meeting, right now, if there's one client and they have 3 documents, that is one PDF. But we want to be able to see which specific documents they have in HMIS. So in order to do that, we have to separate that PDF into 3 PDFs. So that's what we're working on now for the individual coordinated entry system. And so we're kind of working on that process, and we're not sure yet how it's going to look like getting that into HMIS, but this is the first step. So that's what we're working on now. And I'm not seeing any questions. So I'm going to move on to housing move-in date. Casey?
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. So tomorrow morning on December 6th, we HMIS staff are going to be doing some cleanup to the housing move-in date fields. So a few months ago, we removed the housing move-in date fields from the update and exit screen, and that was so housing move-in date would only be entered on the entry screen, which prevents duplicate data entry and different dates being entered in different screens.
10 between
so
10 and 11. What was that?
Oh, nope. Okay, am I back now?
Yeah, you're good.
Okay. So there's still some data in those fields from the update and exit screen, and we have to re-enable the fields for a short period of time, probably about an hour, so that we can remove the additional housing move-in dates. So essentially tomorrow morning, you may see the housing move-in date field on the update or exit screen, but we're asking that you please do not enter any data into those fields. They will be gone once we complete our corrections, and that's it. Everything will go back to normal.
Okay, I'm not seeing any questions, so I'm going to go on to the next thing. Adriana? Hold on. Okay, Adriana?
Okay, so now can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, well, hi guys. We have completed the first submission of the LSA, and we want to have this opportunity to thank you for the corrections that you have done. That has been really helpful because we have seen improvements in data quality, so that's very nice. However, we still need to continue working on improving our numbers. Specifically, we need to reduce the number of errors in the domestic violence data element. And in order to do that, we're going to send another round of corrections, which is going to be just a spreadsheet with the 3 fields that are associated with that data element. So basically, you're going to receive the spreadsheet, and it's only going to have 3 columns that you need to revise. So it's going to be the same format as the previous corrections we sent before. So we're going to send the link so you can download the spreadsheet through messaging HMIS. And we're also going to send all the details, information on how to make the corrections on a regular email. The spreadsheet will only include the enrollments that present errors in these fields. So this means that the spreadsheet is going to be way smaller than the one you have received before. So that is good news. And also, we are only going to send these corrections to agencies for whom this data element is applicable, because this is not for all agencies, for not all funding sources. So it's only going to be a subset of agencies. So pretty much, if you do not receive these corrections, it is because either it's not applicable to you or because you don't have any errors in this data element, which is also a case for some agencies. So just please complete the corrections by December 13th, and we will send it this week. So yeah, be on the lookout for that. Is there any questions?
I don't see any questions, so everything's crystal clear.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you.
All right. Elizabeth?
Buddy? Hi, everyone. So
Hi.
It's about that time of year again, and we have a HICP update for you. First, there's a change to the sheltered pit count this year. This year, agencies will have to collect client-level data for their sheltered clients to submit to 211OC. Like last year, we will have a spreadsheet available for you to help in this data collection and training to cover the changes. In terms of clarity, data elements have been added to HMIS to collect additional information that is important to the COC and will help during the HICP. So all projects will now see 2 new questions on the enrollment screen. One question asking for the client's date of birth, which will be asked to all clients, and a question asking for the client's employment status, which will be asked only to adults. Additionally, in order to ensure an unduplicated count of clients between the sheltered and unsheltered counts, unique identifiers will be created for each client. So HICP staff will be in charge of creating these unique identifiers. All you have to do is collect the data that's on the spreadsheet or that is in HMIS. And like last year, we will be holding webinars in January with more information on these changes and instructions on how to collect and submit data for the HIC and sheltered pit for 2019. That's about it for the HIC pit update.
Okay. Layla?
All right, well now, can everyone hear me?
Yes.
So I'm going to go over a few changes we've made to our intake forms. And as usual, these forms are available on, on the OC HMIS documents page. So if we click the link right here on the slide and scroll down to page 7, so right there, you'll notice that the questions asking for phone number and email are now optional. And there are 3 new questions, as you see. They ask which state the client was born in, which country they were born in,
and their employment status. And these questions are required for all clients, and these changes apply to all intake forms, not just the general ones. And that's it.
We got a question. I was in Clarity this morning. Does this mean we need to update current clients to add this info? So for emergency shelter and transitional housing projects, we are going to need the 3 fields that were added: the state you were born in, what country if you were outside the U.S., and then your employment status. We're going to need that for all clients active in emergency and transitional housing projects on the night of the PIT, which is January 22nd. So Christine, no, you do not need to go back and enter it for your clients unless you want to, if that information is beneficial for you to have. But for those of you with emergency and transitional housing projects, if you know your clients are going to be active at the end of January in your project, you can start now going back and collecting this information. But we'll have more information on that also during the PIT training. Okay.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, so hello everyone. So in the past few weeks, we have been working on HMIS training videos. These are all the videos that we will have available for you guys. The ones that are available are already published. There are still a few left that will be available soon, and we will publish them as they're ready. All of the videos will be published in the HMIS YouTube channel, so please check them out. We feel this will be a great way to help train users, especially if you're like me and prefer visual. We also have them available as knowledge-based articles too, so you know, whichever works better for your users. Please share them with your users and use them as training materials. If there's anything else that you guys would like us to do a video on that is currently not on the list, please let us know. And then that's it. If anybody have any questions.
We got a follow-up question about the new field. So if you don't have an emergency shelter or transitional housing project, the new fields are still available for you, but you do not need to go back and do back data entry for anybody. You can just collect it for your clients moving forward. I'm not seeing any other questions on the training videos. Okay, so now we have time for Q&A. We got through all of our updates pretty quickly. So if anybody has any questions or anything that they would like to see in HMIS, we have some time now. So you can type in and let us know what you want to see. Otherwise, we'll end the meeting early, but I'll give everyone a minute in case there's typing. We got a question asking if we can add looker trainings to that list. So we do already have a couple of looker webinars available. Well, we have one recorded webinar on reports in HMIS in general, and then we have another webinar that's specific to looker functionality and how to run reports in HMIS. So we can make sure that a link to that is included in the meeting minutes. And then if you don't feel like that's enough, like there's something specific in Looker that you want to be able to see that isn't in that webinar, enter a ticket and we can work on adding that for you also. We got another question. For coordinated entry, if we switch projects, the agency cannot make the change in clarity. So right now, no, it's not necessarily if you're switching projects. It's if a client is referred to your agency, and then you realize that the specific project they were matched to is not a match, but there's another project that you have that would be a match. The HMIS help desk team can make that link for you. That's not something that you can do. So you just enter a ticket with us. And then we got another question. I was wondering when we will receive our project performance reports for rapid rehousing. Those went out a week or two ago. We can resend it to you to make sure you got it, but check your HMIS messages to see if you have a link, because that was where it was sent. And just to show you really quick, in case you're not sure where that is. Hold on. So right when you log in, on top right here where there's the envelope, this is your HMIS messages. So we have been sending any sensitive client data like spreadsheets to your HMIS messages, and it includes a link to a Google Drive where the spreadsheet is, as well as the password to that spreadsheet. So check there first. But if you didn't get it, let us know. We can resend it to you. Another question. For coordinated entry, do we exit clients from the family coordinated entry system project if they are matched to a rapid rehousing project or only for PSH? So it's both, but you don't exit them as soon as the match occurs. When the household is matched to your opportunity, you should update their status to pending process so that everyone knows that you're determining whether or not they're eligible. And then once you determine that they're eligible for your project, no matter what the project type is, and you enroll them in your project, at that point you exit them from the family coordinated entry project. Okay. The question. We got a follow up to that. What destination do we use? So the exit from the coordinated entry project should match the project type that you are enrolling them in. So if it's PSH, there's a permanent housing option. If it's rapid rehousing, I believe there's a rental with an RRH subsidy option. If there's not, then it would just be the rental with ongoing subsidy when you exit them from the family coordinated entry project. When does CES Family go live for PSH? It is live now. So you can start entering your opportunities for families into HMIS now, and at the next Tuesday match meeting, your opportunities can be matched with a household. And if there's something that you're not seeing or in HMIS, let us know and we can help you, but you should be doing that now. The questions seem to slow down. I'm going to give it another minute. If you haven't already, please enter in your agency name in the chat box so we know who is here. And I'll give it just another minute. We got a follow-up question about why are we collecting the state of birth? So this was added in order to help make the unique client ID that Elizabeth mentioned earlier. We could limit it to the emergency shelter and transitional housing projects if that's the way that the community wants to go, but we haven't put on that restriction yet. But right now, the reason the state of birth is in there is because when we create the unique ID, we're taking a string of fields. So it's like the first 2 letters of the first name, the first 2 letters of the last name, their age, their date of birth, and like gender, race, ethnicity, or something like that. And we're stringing those all together into one field or one ID. And then that information is going to be used to deduplicate the PIT count, both for the sheltered and unsheltered counts, especially since the unsheltered count is going to be happening over a couple of days. So that's why we added the field. But if there's strong objection to the field for other project types, we can remove it so the question's only available to emergency and transitional. But right now we have it for everybody in case there's if the agencies feel there's benefit to having the field. Let's see. HMIS will not let me save without the state of birth field completed. Okay. We can limit it to emergency and transitional for right now, because yeah, that's going to be an issue. Or maybe we'll just make the fields soft required right now, so it'll mean that you will be able to save without having that information entered. So that won't be an issue for you later today, Christine. Anything else? Just giving it a minute in case anyone's typing. Okay, so the questions seem to have stopped. If you think of anything later, please enter a ticket with the HMIS help desk so we can answer your question. The next user meeting is going to be on January 9th. And as of now, we're thinking that will also be a webinar. I know we've said that we're going to do in-person also, and we still are planning to do that, but since our user meetings have been a little bit light in terms of content the last couple months, we haven't wanted to drag everyone out to our office for an in-person. So right now we're thinking the January meeting will also be a webinar, and then possibly February, if we have more topics, we can do that one in person. So that's it for today. Thank you all for joining, and see you guys on the next one.